Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Hope you all had a great week. I'm having a good one. It's been a little crazy. What is today? First? Is this May Day? May Day, May Day. Anyway, um, been a good week. I've switched over from my standard keto diet to more of a just almost carnivore. I guess you call it ketovore. They got all these new terms they invent every week. I can't keep up, but it's mostly all meat with just a little seasoning like garlic salt. So I can never be a true carnivore. Sorry. But I've cut carbs. I don't think I've had five carbs one day this week. So I'm dropping weight. I'm shrinking, which feels good. My shirts are looser, pants are looser. Well, I wear shorts, so I'd never know what my pants are doing. But anyway, everything's shrinking, and that's good. I haven't got on the scale yet. I will get on Sunday evening and weigh myself for the week. But I got a big new goal to set. I'm going on a cruise 6 weeks from today, and my goal is to be down to 220 pounds by the time that ship pushes off the dock. So I've got 6 weeks, and I've got to lose, what have I got to lose? Almost 20 pounds. So probably like 16 pounds, something like that. So basically, it's going to be 3 pounds a week at least. I think I can do it. I know I can do it. I will kick my butt if I don't do it. So, I feel just after just 1 week of just dropping all the carbs out, I feel so good. I've been sleeping like a baby, which for me is rare. For the past couple of years, I've gotten really big. And my sleeping has been sporadic to say the least. On a good night, I might get 6 hours, maybe 6 hours. Once every 2 weeks, I might get seven. But normally, I'm between 4 and 5, 5.5 hours a night. And that sucks because I just walk around in a daze and a fog all day long. So after just 1 week of this, man, I've been sleeping. I think I've had 7 or 8 hours for like the last 4 nights. And so I am feeling amazing. So anyway, got that going on. That's going to be the goal. We will hop on it. I will power through it, and I will get there. Because I don't want to be in a cruise ship looking like I belong out in the water with a harpoon sticking in me. So yeah, I know my humor. But anyway, so that's that. The other thing I want to talk about today is where we're going as a country, real quick. It's time to stop the Republican Democrat bickering back and forth and back and forth. I am a conservative. I started out as a liberal. I was raised in the 60s, 70s, and so in Southern California, no less. So I was, Orange County, right in the middle of the everything. We had our hippies, we had everything, but it was great. Don't get me wrong. But I was a super liberal guy, legalize pot, do all that stuff, come on. And as I aged and started running my own business, I quickly left the liberal camp and went over to the conservative camp because I was tired of handing out my money for people that are doing nothing, which, we all know what's going on now. It's ridiculous. And there's so much. The government, like I said, both sides are responsible for this. The government has just ballooned into a giant waste dump. We all know it. They're just throwing money out the window. It's going to people that don't exist and blah, 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 blah. But my real point is once again, we're coming up with AI, and it is blowing up faster than 97% of the people out there even think about. So in the next 5 years, I think I read an article the other day where employment, 40% of the jobs may disappear in 5 years because they're going to be putting out tens of thousands of robots every year that are capable of doing everything. They can run your house for you. They can run your business for you. They can, work in any trade, drive vehicles. We have vehicles that won't have to drive, like my Tesla, which, I thought it'd be kind of fun. I drive back and forth from this house to the other house, which is like 7 minutes down the road. And it's country roads mostly, and they're blacktop. It's not like country Hickville. It's blacktop and all that, but it's rural, very rural, farms, horses, all that stuff. So I thought I would take you on a ride in the morning with me in the Tesla. I have a Model X, and it's a crazy car, but it's brand new. It's one of the last Model X's they've made, not making them anymore. So I thought we'd go for a long ride just to see what that is like. It is so amazing. They say you can't explain what it's like to drive one of these until you sit behind the wheel and let the car take you around. It's not explainable. You get a feeling like you've never felt before. And after a few weeks, you're not going to want to ever go back to another car you've got to drive. And I know a lot of the young guys, yeah, well, whatever. If you have the urge, you want to drive it yourself, you can. But it's wicked fast. My car goes 0 to 60 in like less than 3 seconds. So 1001, 1002, and I'm doing 60 miles an hour that fast. And it's exhilarating, to say the least. But we'll go. I'm going to try to get the camera in there. I'll play around and get it set up, and you'll be able to drive down Deer Alley with me every morning as the car dodges deer all over the place. But so anyway, we'll do that. But anyway, back to the topic of, we got to prep ourselves, guys. We got to do it. I mean, we're going to, every year, the jobless rate is going to climb. They say, well, they're going to create. No, they're not going to create. Elon's going to have robots building his robots building, he already has robots building his cars, and all the other ones, all the other car manufacturers, everything's almost automatic. Yeah, they got some people who stand there and look at them, and put a bolt in here and there, but that's all going to go away, 5 years, okay? And so we got to start figuring out, what are we going to do with millions and millions of people that are out of work? We're going to have to come up with a whole new financial system. I mean, eventually the goal here is we're getting to Star Trek. For those of you Trekkies out there who've been watching it for years, and that nobody has to work. They work because they either want to do a job, or the rest of them go climb mountains or go play. You don't have to do anything because you got robots building all your houses, factories, putting your stuff together, farming, growing all your crops for you. You have the ability to expand. I mean, have you ever flown over the country, folks? I mean, it's like land everywhere, rivers everywhere, and a dot here. There's a little city there. There's a little city over here. So if you multiply that with the world, we got a lot of space down here and a lot of resources that we just don't take advantage of. And the thing is, with these robots, pardon me, allergies, Ludden. This time of year, they just kill me. But anyway, robots are going to be doing everything, and we will have we're going to the moon. Elon, there's no need to endanger astronauts on the moon or Mars. We could send ships up there with cargo and robots. Drop off the robots, their own charging stuff. You got sunlight up there. They can literally stay there and build endlessly. We just keep dumping product up there. Mars, the moon, we'll be able to expand exponentially besides the Earth. So, and this is all coming up. I'm so pissed, pardon my French, that I'm, in my late 60s, and I'm not going to be here to see all the I'm not going to be here to see a city on Mars. But that's going to happen in the next 30, 40 years. It's going to be there. My sons, who are in their 20s, are going to be just having a ball. If you guys can just keep your crap together and not mess up the earth somehow. But AI is going to allow us to do things, and it's here. It's not, oh, what are we going to do? No. My problem is these damn idiots, oh, the national debt. Well, in a few years, we probably won't have any national debt because everything is going to be made so cheap. I mean, we really won't need, we can come to a place where we really don't need money because from mining it out of the ground to building it in the factory to putting food on your plate to taking care of you to taking care of your house, we will have robotics to do everything. Humanoids, and the next leap will be androids like Data on Star Trek. And these guys are going to be damn close. I don't know if you've looked at Optimus. Just Google Optimus, any one of the robots that Elon's already building, and they are already capable of doing the housework, doing everything. So, and it's just going to exponentially grow from here. So, your health, they're going to have, robots. My wife just had an operation. It was all done by robot. The lady just guided it and it did all the work, super minute stitching and everything. And, they made such small holes where I'm just going to tell her. She's in her late 50s and she had a hysterectomy. She had what they call fibroids. And they were giving her all kinds of problems. So went in and had a full hysterectomy. It took them an hour to do the surgery. She was out of the hospital right after lunch and is home, and a week and a half later she's up and around. She's still got some issues, soreness, this and that, so I'm taking care of her. But the fact is that it's that fast, and it's just going to increase exponentially. Robots will be taking care of you in the hospital. They will be doing everything. I mean, literally, Elon's planning on putting out 1 million a year. You got Boston Robotics. You got the Chinese. They're all over the place. So you're going to have millions of robots piling into the. I mean, literally, I say watch the movie I, Robot, because what you see in that movie takes place in, what is it, 2035, or it's 20 something. It's less than 10 years away, and they have robots doing a lot of stuff, but still humans are doing a lot. It's going to be even more advanced than that movie. So sit down and watch that and figure out, wow, it's going to be like that. Tesla's cars are just, he's putting out robo taxis now with no steering wheel, no pedals. Everybody just hops in, and it's a robotic car. It just drives them where you want to go. His goal is, here in about 6 months or a year, is you'll be able to get in your Tesla like me, tell it you want to go on a 4 or 5 hour trip, sleep the whole damn way, and it'll wake you up when you get there, and you'll be fully rested. I drive now. The car drives me everywhere. I get there, and it's so funny because I can go on a 3 hour trip, and instead of getting out and going, oh God, I gotta, you get out and you're like, woohoo, I'm here, yay, because there's no stress. That thing just drives me. I don't have to touch one damn thing from the time I leave my house to the time I get there. And it's just, they won't let you sleep yet because they got to get through the state. And he's got another upgrade coming down that's going to give the robot or the brain in there. It has AI, but it's going to give it the ability to reason, which is, if it's driving down the street in, say, New York City, and there's people walking everywhere, and it's driving along, if it senses a person is going to take a step out towards the road, it will sense that before it even gets started. I mean, mine does that now. Sees the deer down the road. It probably sees, I don't know what, a half a football field down the road in the dark. It'll start slowing down all of a sudden. I'll be like, oh, what the hell? And then, oh yeah, there's the deer standing there next to the road when I finally get up to it. But it's just going to take over everything, and people, you got to start getting excited about this because it's here. And you probably don't even, most of you don't know this. Tesla's had semi trucks that they've built with a 500-mile battery range, and Pepsi's had some test models, and Asia or AJ or the trucking companies had some models, and they've been using them for a year now. And if you look at the truckers, they love the things. I mean, could you imagine driving a big old semi without shifting? You got over 1,000 horsepower. They're hauling megaton loads all over the country. They stop, charge in 30 minutes, and have some lunch, and they're on their way. Um, and the truckers love them. There's no stress, and it's just going to get better from here to the point where, I hate to say this, but we're not going to need truck drivers. These vehicles will drive themselves, and everything will. So anyway, that's this. I've kept you enough today. I just want everybody to really start looking at this stuff and catch up to date, because we got to figure out what we're going to do with these people. I mean, and that's something that every government, from city to the feds to the world, has to figure out. So you're going to have an abundance of bodies with no work to do, which is not a terrible thing. Okay, go climb a rock, like they used to say. So anyway, that's it for today. Great Friday, everybody. Everybody that's doing keto or carnivore or whatever diet you're on, God bless you. Have a great time, and we'll talk at you next week. Take care.